Fix old cameras. Your successful completion of the demonstrated repair ultimately depends on the quality of your tools, the condition of your camera, and most importantly, your repair ability.
In another Fix Old Camera video, it is stated that the top cover can be removed to adjust the rangefinder on a Canon P. It can also be adjusted with the top cover on if it's a minor adjustment. There's two accesses, little hole for the vertical and an eccentric lens for the horizontal. The Canon repair manual calls this eccentric lens the Erector Prism. So that's what we shall call it. To adjust this rangefinder, however, the top cover will need to be removed, and you shall see later why. So to begin with, the Erector Prism has two lenses that are sandwiched together with two rings on them. The back ring is what actually sets the lens into the camera body, and the front ring is what adjusts the prism. With the top cover removed, we're going to reinstall the Erector Prism. With it reinstalled, then we can adjust the front ring in position juxtaposed against the back ring. That will adjust the horizontal position of the rangefinder. When looking through the rangefinder and making this adjustment, it's somewhat difficult. The camera probably should be put on a tripod with the rangefinder set to infinity with, say, a 50 millimeter or 35 millimeter lens mounted onto the camera. Now, in order to see how this adjustment is made, the camera is just sitting on the bench so that the camera can be positioned so you can see how the lens is turned. With an appropriately sized screwdriver, slotted screwdriver, the vertical adjustment is made through the access hole. Of course, the camera will need to be set on a tripod with the lens mounted to it and the distance set to infinity to make this adjustment. In this particular case, the Erector Prism did not offer enough adjustment, so the refractor prism will need to be adjusted. There are 3 screws that pivot this prism, and only the slightest bit of movement on one of these pivot screws will reposition that prism. So it's a very delicate adjustment, but with patience and care, it can be done successfully. Typically, you will have to work back and forth between the 2 adjustments until you get the prism overlap with the superimposed perfect. This camera rangefinder usually can be adjusted so there is no error whatsoever. Another adjustment, well, it's not an adjustment per se, but make sure that the functionality of the parallax prism cam is functioning with ease and moving freely. So when a lens is mounted, the shift is made. Another adjustment for the proper position of the lens cam follower is the eccentric adjustment screw on the follower. With all the rangefinder adjustments made, the top cover can be replaced. With the top cover installed, the Erector Prism lens can also be installed. Handle this carefully so that the adjustments made and set do not get moved inadvertently when screwing the lens into position. For those that are interested, here's some shots of the microfiche of the actual parts manual. The adjustment screw is C2161 for the vertical adjustment. Here's an exploded diagram of where the Erector Prism would seat. Although the quality of the images of the parts diagram is not all that good, hopefully it is somewhat helpful or interesting.
Thank you for watching. Inspired? Check back for new video postings.